What's up guys, Saints Venny here, bringing you a new video, and today we're going to be going over the top 5 formations in FIFA 20 right now. And this is all opinion based, so don't think because I say these formations are the main 5 you can't use any other formation. If a formation works for you, it works for you, but this is in my opinion the top 5 formations for FUT champs, for weekend league, to play your friends, whatever it may be, whatever reason you've clicked on the video, just giving you my opinion, a pro player's opinion, what formations to pick and why. Before we get any further, don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Leave a like, leave a comment, helps the channel grow. We're close to 4K. The aim is to hit 5K by the end of April, so with your support hopefully we can achieve that. But let's get into it, and just to talk a little bit about how the meta is basically played this right now, and what formations will benefit due to this meta. So before I get into it, the meta right now is very simple. I would say a lot of it is a wing play build up, and then what you want to do is come through into the middle, into your centre mids, and then pass it into your strikers, and then turn in either side, trying to jinx a defender and then being able to get a shot off. And it sounds very simple, but obviously due to how the defensive meta is with the overload and just people dropping people back, it can get quite frustrating at times. And obviously you need to do a little bit more complex stuff, but the most base sort of style you have to do is tap down the wings, come into the middle. Either you go straight from your wingers to your strikers, or you'll go from your wingers to your midfielders to your strikers, and then trying to turn it. That's why I personally like having 5-star skills right now up top, so I can get the first time scoop turn, or even having a 5-star weak foot so I can jinx what way I'm going to go. Obviously if you got the 5-star weak foot, you can touch one way, do a drag back, come the other, and even like double drag back them if you really want, but you don't really need to at times. But yeah, now you guys understand the meta. Probably just quite a rough meta, I would say. I think it is the go-to right now. It's very simple, but it's obviously not as simple as it sounds, because obviously with the way people play, it can gain frustration for you all. But yeah, let's get into the 5 formations. I was about to say 4 formations, but the 5 formations. I'm not going to go into instructions or what tactics I would use in these. That will be separate videos each week coming up. I'm going to do like a little mini series, so I'll start with the top 5 formations, and then next Monday I'll be doing a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 or whatever formations come up. Just giving you insight. Them 2 formations are in this, but I'm just going to give you a quick basis on how they work and why I suggest them, and then obviously I'll go into more detail doing a separate video on each single one, so I get some content out for you guys. But first up, as it's here already, the 4-4-2. Very basic. I think this is the formation a lot of people who use narrow go to when they're trying to add a wide formation into their play, and that is due to you still got them 2 strikers up top, so you can do them 1-2 ping pong passes, trying to break behind the centre backs lines. But you've got the wide options with the right mid and left mid. A lot of people who use 4-1-2 and 2 are trying to adapt to the meta and obviously play a wide formation with the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-3-1. And I know a lot of people struggle with the 4-2-3-1 because at times you do have to go slow pace with it. With 4-4-2, it's a very ping pong formation, very attacking formation. If you find your centre mids are a little bit too aggressive in attack, I do recommend having stay back on them. But if you find their just standard positioning coming too far forward, I recommend going to the 4-4-2-2. So you have 2 DMs in that, so you're a little bit more secure in defence. But personally, I think the 4-4-2 flat is probably the better one, due to if you're using 4-4-2, you're willing to be aggressive in attack and defence. But yeah, the way how this works, as I mentioned, how the meta is, you got wings and you wanna utilize them. So with having left mid and right mids, and actually quite wide, unless even when you've got like a really tight narrow width, your right mid and left mid just naturally just stay like basically on the touch lines at times. But once you've got into the final third, they'll come in tighter. But coming out of defense, they're going to be standing there wide, giving you an option, so you can do a 1-2 with them, setting down the wing, and they're through that way. And obviously with the 2 strikers, as I mentioned, the way is you got to turn left or right with the strikers, pass it into them, scoop, turn it, drag back, whatever you feel comfortable with. Elasticos, even that if you've got the 5-star skills in you. With the 2 strikers, obviously you can have that variation, but also just do quick 1-2s between them, and then obviously instead of actually just trying to beat them one-on-one with a skill move, you can maybe do a 1-2 and then even go back to your DM or whatever you find suited in the situation. Obviously it's all scenario based, but yeah, 4-4-2 is the first formation out of the 5, which I definitely recommend to use. Up next, we'll go to the 4-2-3-1. This is not this one. That one's okay, but this is the main one. The 4-2-3-1 with the 3 cams, a narrow version. And this is my go-to formation this year. Probably been my go-to formation for the last few years. And that is due to the way it is. It's very structured. It's very basic with how it actually works. You know, you've got your 2 DMs, your 3 cams, and your striker. And it sounds very simple, right? You got your bank of sits ready to defend, but your DMs will help you in attack. But you've also got that 4 for the easy counter attacks. Your Ram and Lam, as I mentioned, with the right mid and left mid of 4-4-2, they're naturally wide. With 4-2-3-1, at times they do sit in slightly tighter, especially straight out of the counter attack. At times you'll notice that your Lam is sometimes sit really close to your strikers, so you need to able to ping pong pass it through that way. With 4-2-3-1, you have to be very strategic with how you attack, because at times it can be quite dull, if I'll be honest with you. You might not have an option to your right or your left. Sometimes you're going to have to go backwards to your CDM, to your right back, and just rotate the ball and actually build up in a slow manner. As I said though, regarding the meta and how this one works, is obviously with the 4-2-3-1. What is the difference between 4-4-2 and 4-2-3-1? The 4-4-2's obviously got the 2 strikers, and this one's got a central cam and a striker. And actually, with 4-4-2, it's very more direct. You just ping it into them, and then you go. With this, you probably want to go into your CDM and then into your cam, do a pass into your striker, see if you can turn on with your striker, and then once you can or you can't, see if your cams are there open to do the extra pass if you're able to. But obviously at times it could be a little bit difficult, and obviously it depends who you've got in your team and who you're playing against. But yeah, that's a very standard base of the 4-2-3-1, and as I said, I'm not going to go too much in detail with every single one, but I'm just giving you my opinion. What are the top 5 formations right now? Up next, probably a fan favourite, and I think this formation's it's slowly dying due to how the meta is, and probably the last 2 years has been very wing based. Like FIFA 19, it was all about alternating down the wings, so 4-1-2-1-2 wasn't good for that. But now we're still in a meta where it's quite wide, it's quite a slow base build up. But I'm personally actually playing quite a few people using 4-1-2-1-2 and actually having some difficulty with it, and that is due to the quick pace of what you can go, and it is very ping pongy. As I think that's the word what keeps mentioning. It's like you want to ping pong it if you can, but at times it is very tough because the way of the accuracy of the pass this year is not the greatest, so you're going to struggle with that. But what I'm noticing a lot of times when I'm using 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2, people are countering attacking quick, because that just seems to be the meta. You sort of like sit back slightly and then you just counter attack quick. And with this, obviously you have them 3 up top. And what happens a lot of times, you'll have, let's say the opponent's playing 4-2-3-1. I notice this a lot with my team. I've got 2 of them on stay back, but one of them will still push up and maybe one will sit back. That will basically mean I've got 1 CDM, 2 centre backs, and a right back and a left back to defend in my 4-2-3-1. If I'm playing a 4-1-2-1-2, that CDM will take up the cam spot, and then I've got 2 strikers 1-on-1 with their centre backs basically, and that is what I'm trying to like utilize if I'm using a 4-1-2-1-2. So basically I'm trying to outnumber the players very quickly. So let's say I pass the ball into the cam, I've got 1 player on me, which is the CDM. If I can beat him with a quick pass to my strikers or just a skill move, and then I'm playing it to the strikers, trying to set the others on the run, try and just get that 1-on-1 run, and most of the time your strikers will be quicker than the opponent's defenders. Use a fake shot boost if you get the opportunity to do it. If not, just use that space what you are given, and maybe even just like drag back it and then play it back or whatever. Just try and manipulate the defender and how it's going to work, because a lot of times they do catch you, so just be very wary for that. But yeah, that's how the 4-1-2-1-2 is used. As I say though, the meta is go wide, come in. This is very direct, very through the middle, just ping pong it through, just basically outnumber yourself through the middle instead of trying to go slow down the wings. And I still think 4-1-2-1-2 is a very good formation, and I've done a tactic video about it, and I still think it's really good. Up next is the 4-2-2-2, very similar to the 4-4-2. Everything's basically the same, but apart from that, you got a Ram and a Lam and 2 DMs. The 2 DMs sort of sit back like a 4-2-3-1 or 4. As you can imagine, that's how our CDMs would do. But what the difference is, I would say, between the 4-2-2-2 and the 4-4-2 is how your starting position of your Ram and Lam, and actually when you're in attack with the sort of positions they take. With the Ram and Lam, they are a lot tighter in. As I mentioned, with the right mid and left mid, their base positions are still quite wide, but with the Ram and Lam, it's very tight. At times they can, depending on your attacking width, they do actually take quite a wide positioning in variations, but most of the time it'd be a lot tighter than compared to the right mid and left mid. So it all comes down to preference. If you're trying to change yourself from a narrow player to more of a wider player, 4-2-2 is a nice next step up, because it's still quite tight through the middle, but you do have them wide options with your Ram and Lamb when they naturally just go out there. So yeah, definitely recommend this one. As I said, with the 4-4-2, everything what applies to that and the way you build up and the way you attack is exactly the same with the 4-2-2. And then going into the last one, obviously I can do like the 4-3-1-2, but that's basically the same formation. 4-3-2-1 is actually a nice formation, but I haven't used it too much recently. I'm actually going to throw in a curveball here, and I'm going to go with a 3-5-2. I personally, this is like, if everything's going wrong and I'm 2 goals down, I go 3-5-2 and go like fast build up and just try and fly at people, and that is because of the way I'm trying to outnumber people. As I mentioned, the meta is go wide, come through the middle. With the 3-5-2, you have basically both options. You have through the middle because you have you have 1 cam, 2 strikers, so you can do the ping pong. But then you also have the right mid and left mid to give you the wider options, so you can play down the wings and then come through the middle. That's what the beauty about is the 3-5-2. If you go quick enough, you can actually outnumber the people in attack. Problem is, if you try and use this formation from minute 1, you are going to be outnumbered on defense a lot of the times. As you can tell, with 3-5-2, it's just a natural 3-back formation. It's just going to be very attacking in some sort of sense. So be wary with when you're going to be using 3-5-2. If you're going to use it as a counter formation, if you're a couple goals down, or you're going to just do it because you like 3-5-2 and it can work. I think if you go with really pacey right back and left backs, and also CDMs, you could make this work. And I'll probably come up with some custom tactics what actually will make this formation a lot more sustainable through the whole game. If you guys want me to do any more formation, guys, just after I've done obviously the top 5, I can do. As I said, I think the 4-3-2-1 is quite nice, and maybe there's like other formation you guys know what I don't, but let me know in the comments. Hope this guide, it's not the greatest guide, I'll be honest, but it'll give you an understanding of what the top 5 formations are. And as I said, from every Monday now will be a different formation, so let me know what formation you want to see first, and I'll give you a full in detail on how that formation works. But don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and peace.